Guys, welcome back to the Ignite the Light podcast. I am your host, Alesia, and welcome to episode 6.
Woo!
How's everyone feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Let me adjust.
Thank you.
We're feeling good. We
Yes.
feeling great. Ooh, who could be here? Some know. If you're watching on video, you know. If you're not, then it's just mysterious. But welcome. Basically, Ignite the Light is a place where we come as believers, as non-believers, who knows? But we come for the glory of God to just share our light with the world, and hopefully just what we've been through can help anyone else. And we know how hard it is to follow God out here. Chop that up later. And that's kind of how this whole podcast was birthed. So today we have a very special guest. So special. She's smiling. She's smirking. We have Bria in the house. Hi, Bria. So I know Bria, but you guys don't know Bria. So Bria, tell us all about yourself. Enlighten us.
Okay. Hi guys. I'm Bria.
Hey.
Hey. I'm 18 years old. I go to Horizon High School.
Go Huskies.
Yes.
Go Huskies.
Let's see. I sing. I feel like
yep,
the biggest
we
thing
had to get that out.
Yeah.
Quick.
I'm a worship leader at our church. I also sing at school. And yeah, I have been following God, I guess my whole life. I've been raised in church. But I feel like I kind of gave my life to Christ in like 7th grade, and of course it was at church camp. I feel like everybody started at church camp.
Y'all know.
And I just had a moment with God where I just was like, I need you to show me you're there, and He did. Still had its ups and downs, trying to fit in with the world, but still being like, I need to follow God. And so I feel like over this past year, I really gave up a lot of things to follow God, and now we're here. And I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for all of that. So,
that obedience be coming into play. Well, I am so honored to have you. She has a lot of wisdom for you guys, more than you'd know. And maybe at any point we could break out in song.
I feel like you would. I wouldn't. Like, I'm so nervous about, singing. Like, I sing all the time, but then if you're, singing, I'm like, oh.
But I don't know. We could break out in song. You never know. So today, guys, we are chopping it up about Eros love. As you guys know, this entire season has been about love. Since this podcast has started, I've actually have started a new relationship. I'm kidding.
Oh. Because I was literally thinking earlier, I was like, dang, I've been there for some relationships in the growth.
This is crazy. Cut the track. Hey, she's seen a couple come and go. Just one, really. I'm just kidding. But, hey, who knows? Maybe by the time this drops, I receive that, Lord. Lord.
Me too.
Anywho, we are talking today about Eros love. So in your opinion, in your research, I know you are a scholar, some may call it, and you took this very seriously. What did you find and discover about Eros love and what it meant to you?
Yeah, so Eros love is kind of like the physical love between you and a husband and wife in a marriage. And when I was researching a thing that it was talking about is how it's like the gift from God. And kind of when it's in a marriage, it's not filled with guilt and stuff because y'all are locked in. So yeah, it's just the physical intimacy in a marriage.
Yeah, sounding like that romantic love. I like that. So obviously we like to tie scripture into all of this, and love is just something that, we're all in it already. So we're focusing on how to do it the right way, or we're preparing to be in it, or it's a desire of ours. So then we are focusing on how to, make sure we make the right choice. Because once that choice is made, we ain't trying to be a part of these divorce rates. You know what I'm saying?
No, we are not.
Oh, that's tough. That's another story. That's another episode. So what is a story or verse in the Bible where God has shown this love to you that really just highlights and resonates with you?
Yeah, so I chose Song of Songs 2, verse 7. It says, "Promise me, O women of Jerusalem, by the gazelles and wild deer, not to awaken love until the time is right." Also, I want to say that this is also brought up about not awakening love until the time is right again in Song of Songs in 3 verse 5 and 8 verses 4. And like, I was just like thinking about my notes, and I think it's important to know that when something's repeated, that means like God is like, this is a commandment, like do this.
Right.
So don't awaken love till time is right. Mm-hmm. And if you don't hear the first time in that verse, you're going to go through Song of Songs again, and it's going to be repeated because God's going to let you know.
Yes. Don't stir up or awaken love until the time is right. Mm-hmm. My version says until it pleases. And as, you know, someone who 18 years old, am I correct? 18, yes. 18. Young girl, we're seeing a lot of love awakening at your age, love awakening before your age. And what does that mean to you? What are your thoughts about dating in high school, awakening love at this time?
Okay. So I'm not going to say that being in a relationship in high school is a bad thing. I think that from personal experience, but also seeing like people around me, I think there's a lot to learn about having a relationship in high school. You learn a lot about yourself, and honestly learning about how to live your life with Christ and what not to do. Mm-hmm. But I think just like back to this verse, sometimes I think there is waiting that needs to happen. I feel like, especially for girls, we've just seen it all on like Disney Channel and stuff, and it's just like you get into high school and you have a relationship. And I know like when I was a freshman, like that was one of the things I was excited for. I was like, oh, like I can start dating.
Finally.
Like, yeah. And I feel like it becomes sometimes a thing where it's like you don't even want a relationship for the right reasons. You just want it because everyone else has it, because you think this is what is supposed to happen when you're in high school. So I think, you know, like be in a relationship, you know, sometimes people find like high school sweethearts. That's so great for you if that's going to happen for you. But, you know, I don't think it's necessary to be in high school. I think you can grow in your friendships and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And something that you said, which is so important to highlight, is we're also realizing our relationship with God, too, at that time. Mm-hmm. I mean, you said you gave your life to God when you were at the end of 7th grade.
Yeah.
I do find that a common trend, middle school, early high school, that we might find. And then, obviously, there's so much self-discovery to go.
Yeah.
Whew. There's a lot of self-discovery there. And even realizing, hey, what's my priority list of life?
Yeah.
If that relationship does get in the top of the priority list, some other things start, you know, dwindling. We start to feel confused, unknown with ourselves. And yeah, I think even what you said, it's not necessarily a negative thing, but almost just be aware, hey, I am this age. Hey, I may not know all these things about myself or about my God yet. I got a lot of things to discover. Like that. I like that. So we have, this is a hot question, because, oh goodness, I almost had a thought that I didn't want to say, which I didn't say, thank the Lord. But what is up with believers and unbelievers dating each other? Do you believe, we have all these verses about being unequally yoked, and, you know, the man's supposed to lead, missionary dating, you know, I'm going to lead him to Christ. And I mean, I'll say too, my sister and her husband, she was a believer, he was not. It worked out. They've been together for 6 years now. But so we see so many different things. What are your thoughts on, can a believer date an unbeliever?
I think that if you want to, you can. Listen, because...
Said if you feel like it.
But it's not going to come without its consequences. And it's not going to come without, like, its trials and tribulations. Like, even for your sister, like, is he Christian now? Or
he is now.
Okay, so, like, that worked out for them. God had a plan for them. But I know that they had to go through some things. I know they had some disagreements that, you know, could have caused some divide in their relationship. So I think sometimes in like that circumstance, like God has a plan for that, but I feel like we are not, how do I explain this? Like, we're supposed to lead people to Christ, like show them about God and stuff like that. But I feel like in a relationship, when we talk about like the man leading, for me personally, if my man is not already like in his word daily, if he's not already showing up to church or doing the things that the Bible says that he's supposed to be doing as the man, then I don't think it would work for me personally, because I've been in a relationship with, he wasn't an unbeliever, but like he was Catholic, and so that, has its stuff to it, and I just feel like at some point, you're gonna be like, wait, but I'm reading the Bible and God is telling me this is how I'm supposed to be living my life, this is how it's supposed to be in a relationship, but you don't want to follow that, but God over everything, God's supposed to be my number one, so then at some point it's gonna like break off if you choose to follow God.
100,000,000%. I fully agree with you. And you know what? Her story actually confuses me. And I have to agree. Like you said, okay, if I'm in this book every single day reading my word, I want someone that models that. And then even, you're like, okay, I gave my life to Christ when I was in 7th grade, but I wasn't, striving every single day. So now you've worked so hard to get to this point.
Yeah.
And that I believe a lot of our listeners is that as they are striving, they, are trying to live differently. And, they feel it in their lives. And that's why they've taken these steps. And then it's like you're pulling on this tug of war rope this way. And perhaps not even that your partner or who your potential or your boo is pulling the opposite way, but it's like, it's just still not the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're still pulling, but if we're holding this book as truth and we're saying, live by these guidelines, this is what you should value, this is what's important. And that's not what they wake up every day striving for. They have a whole different set of values and agenda.
Yeah. I think one thing that Pastor Darrison, I feel like this is when they first like came to church, I just remember like him saying that like if they're not running the same race at the same pace as you, like they don't need to be in your life. And so like even if you're still trying to figure out who God is to you, like the person that you're with, the people that you surround yourself with should want that too. I feel like, and that's so important. And I think sometimes we're just like, oh, like I love this person, dude. Okay, but like we need to have people who are in the same race at the same pace as us.
Yeah, unless our faith is gonna fall off. Yeah. I mean, cat's out the bag now. But like Bria said at the beginning, she was here and around when I was in a relationship. And that's crazy. And same thing, kind of, I guess we have similar situations. So yes, that person was following God. I was following that God at a totally different pace than them. And then I was starting to get, hey, I don't feel like going on Sundays anymore. Hey, I don't really want to do those Bible studies that we first started doing when we were dating together. I just want to watch Pirates of the Caribbean. Hell, if you know me, I don't even watch movies. So, triggering moment. Whoa. But it's really like, okay, if we even analyze, we are two women that are in church frequently. We were just talking about our church is going to 4 services. And we're talking about because we're going to be there more all day, all along. If I think of even my sister, this is why it's not the same. Even though it worked out for them. We were at church, like 6 hours, 7 hours, and we go back later. That relationship, they go to church for a service. Maybe they just started serving. You know what I mean? So it's even as if, hey, what maybe works for a Christian in this state might not work for you. Yeah. So we can't even speak and say, oh, all Christians should be exactly like this person. Because what if you're just a Sunday morning sit-in service? Yeah. You may not want a husband or a wife that's there for 6 or 7 hours a day. Speak on that.
Yeah.
That's a whole other analyzation.
I think that's so, like, that's good that you said that, because I don't think sometimes I think about that either, like, because, if I want to be a worship leader, and so, like, when I'm thinking about, like, my future partner, like, they have to be willing to, like, be there for hours, or at least, you know, maybe they go home, but like understanding, you know, this is what she wants to do. This is what God's called her to do. So I think that's important. Like when you're looking for a partner, to like make sure where you are with Christ. If like you're just a Sunday morning person or you're volunteering, like that, they're just okay with like that schedule and I guess just like how much you're serving and stuff like that.
Yes, or might be right by your side.
Yeah.
Who knows? That's why I'm trying to have mine, you know what I'm saying? Lord, she's like, please let them be the alto.
No.
How do you feel about being, what if you're with another singer? Ooh, she's getting your ad.
You know, okay, actually, I don't know if I could, like, be with someone who's a worship leader. I mean, it would be cool, I guess.
Don't close any door.
Sing. No, whatever God wants to bring me, I'm here for it. But, like, also, like, I had this dream once about, like, being married to, like, a youth pastor. So that'd be nice.
Like, she's like, good idea, but, like, my man's going to be a youth pastor.
Yeah. But whatever God wants to bring my way.
Ooh, whatever. She's not closing any. She had to mention that dream, though, real quick. She's like, well, I do have this in store.
Yeah.
I love that. So, like you told us earlier, you were in a relationship with, I was about to say Catholic man. My bad. With Catholic man?
Yeah, let's just call it
that. We'll just call it that. She was in this relationship that ended, and I saw that happen. So, what did that ending of that relationship teach you?
Two things. One, that I had a lot of work to do on myself. I feel like towards the ending of the relationship, because of just like things that were happening, I lost myself in trying to take care of him. So I just had to like kind of relearn how to put myself first. And then also it taught me that I also had a lot of work to do on growing in the most important relationship, which is my relationship with God. Because, you know, I was going to church Sunday mornings, Sunday evenings. You know, even at this point, people at school knew I was Christian because I was finally confident enough to say that. But the way I was living my life was still not Christ-like. And so I just like, and I waited longer than I should have to break up because I'd known like 3 months before I broke up with him. God just kept telling me, like, Bria, like, I have so much in store for you, but he's holding you back. Like, and you have to let this go. But I'm such a lover girl and
lover girl.
Yeah, I love hard, and I just was like thinking about, you know, all the things that would happen and kind of like the loneliness that I would have to experience again of not being in a relationship. But like, you know, after ending it, like, I feel like, yes, it was lonely for a little bit, but now I have so much joy in being alone with God. So I feel like that's something, I know that kind of wasn't the question, but like that's something
you totally answered it.
Yeah, that's something that I've learned since the end.
That's beautiful. And how you answered, number one is amazing. I think after something ends, like you said, we got to look inward.
Yeah.
To make sure we don't repeat it with someone. We got to look inward first because it's not just all finger pointing. And something that you actually just said that connected with what Nate said on last episode, Nate's someone who's married, is he said when he was falling in love with his partner, Hannah, he loved Hannah because Hannah made him fall more in love with himself. And that's something he said that's so beautiful. So it's almost like what you said, if like, hey, this was pulling me away from God, all these different things. I stopped loving myself. This started going first. It was like, hey, that partner should make us, you know, fulfill our purpose more in this world. Yeah. Not like, you know, you have your dreams, specific dreams. But she has her dreams, and that partner should, you know, be wanting to fulfill those dreams with you, wanting to help you practice someday. Yeah. That shouldn't be so, you know, far off or, that's just in a dreamland. That really does exist. My partner, one day they better be helping me set up this podcast stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They will.
Like, water, please. Like, mic check. You know what I'm saying? But that is so beautiful. So as a girl, you know, I don't even know. She's single. I don't know if she's ready to mingle. We don't know.
Well, I'm ready to mingle, but I don't think that God's ready for me to mingle. So
she said, I believe. Okay.
waiting.
She said, God said, I got it right. Okay, so what does a girl really want in a relationship, though?
I feel like first thing is communication. Because I don't know what happened, but I feel like people my age literally don't know how to express their feelings.
It's not just your age, sweetie.
Okay.
Don't worry. Can't tell you it's getting much better, but not with age. A person can make it better, but just like, you know.
But yeah, I just feel like I've been blessed to have a dad who has shown his emotions and been vulnerable. And so that's something for me that, like, I have to have in a relationship, because when I tell you from a young age, I've seen my dad cry in church, in front of people, and us have, like, that just makes me emotional, because I just feel so blessed to have that dad, because I know that so many people in their lives don't have dads like that. And I think that also, like, just not putting girls in, like, this category of, like, oh, this is how all girls act. Like, whoever the person is that you, like, are interested in or dating or whatever, like, just remember that they're their own person. And so back to the communication thing, like, listening to them, things that they like, things that they don't like, will just really impact that relationship. But I feel like also with a Christ, like, relationship, you know, like, we talk about, like, the triangle, and, like, you have your own relationships with God, but because you have your own relationships, it's helping you lead each other to God. Number one, if my man is not helping me, like, grow closer and closer to God so that I can have eternal life, like, I do not want it in my life. And I just feel like that's something that, you know, I feel like sometimes, like, girls say, like, oh, I want a man of God, and then a man of God, like, comes their way, and then they're like, oh, but no, like, because they're too obsessed with, like, toxic men and stuff like that. Which, ladies, let's please get out of that. Sorry, but
she's like, ladies, we're ending this today.
Right now. It's stopping right now in the name of Jesus.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like those are, like, my top few things.
That's beautiful. I don't even think I've ever heard what you said as the second one, which was, don't compare. We do hear that. We hear all men are like this, or all women are like this, and then we see reels and all these certain things. But each person, we are all so unique. We all bring different experiences, different family backgrounds. I've never heard anything like that. It's pretty cool. She's like, don't play with me. I'm not like the others. I'm not like the others. You better speak, girl. She said 1 in a million. I love that. So, okay. We have this world that is hyper-focused on relationships. I don't know if it's just my algorithm. It could be, though.
No. We're hyper-focused.
Okay. I don't know if it was my algorithm. You know, it went south sometimes. Hyper-focused on relationships. What are 3 ways to stay focused in an environment like this where they're like, relationship now, relationship. How do you stay focused?
So my first one is guard your heart. This is something that I am still learning because, you know, like, sometimes, anyways.
Love her, girl.
Yeah. I have a verse. So Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life.
Was that 4:23?
Yeah. Proverbs 4:23. And I just feel like this is something so important for my generation, especially because I feel like there are a lot of girls like me and guys like me who are
wait, pause.
Well,
guys like me.
Well, I'm just saying who are lovers, and they want to love.
Got it.
But they're giving out their love to. Not everyone deserves your love, you know, like to a certain extent. Like, love everybody, treat everybody with kindness, but not everybody deserves the full capacity of your love. And then my second thing is growing in your waiting season. And I just mean, like, growing, like, with your relationship with God, because if that's not secure, then, like, you know, you can get into another relationship, but you're still going to go through things that you could not go through if you just grew in your relationship with God before you got into another relationship. And then the third thing is focus on your purpose. God has a purpose for each and every one of us. My mom has been speaking Jeremiah 29:11 over me since literally I was a little kid. Every day before school, she's like, who has a purpose for you? God. And so I think it's so, so important to focus on your dreams and your calling. And if you don't know what your calling is, that's the time, we're back to point 2, you're growing with God, so he can reveal that calling to you. And he may not reveal all of it all at once, but he's going to start giving you little things, and it's going to help you know which direction to go, like, in your life.
Yes. So we got guard your heart, grow in your waiting season, and focus on your purpose. And guarding your heart, in that verse, can you read the whole thing for us again?
Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life.
Oof, that last part. For it determines the course of your life. We think about anything that has really, led us astray down a path of harm, heartbreak, how depression has arose in us. And it typically has come from us, putting our big heart out there to someone that didn't quite appreciate it. And we also have to be careful too not to foster unforgiveness or things like that, because let's be real, we've also broken other people's hearts or not been there for people like we shouldn't have been. But it's almost as if really realizing it's like, whoa, this thing where you're like, oh, it's just a talking stage. It's just me doing a little flirting while I'm already in a relationship. I won't get caught up in this. It won't get caught up. Guys, once you are latched on, you are latched on. It's just knowing that, hey, my heart is so important. I cannot mess around with it, because once I lose it, it's got a mind of its own. And then it knows what to do, and it waits 3 months to take action.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, that was just, wow, did that? No, been there. Been. She looked down, she said, wow. Okay. Wow. Goodness gracious. So, as you guys know, the question we are asking everyone at the end of this season is, what qualities do you want to bring into your next relationship?
Definitely to be, my firm foundation is on Christ, so my relationship foundation should be on Christ. I think that is something that I have lacked majorly.
She's passionate about that.
And no, I'm just like, I'm really not playing around anymore. Like,
Please
I know
don't.
I'm young, and like, I have so many people around me who are like, like, you're 18, like, like, experience, whatever. No, like, I'm not here to like have multiple guys and like possibly get my heart broken.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna cough again. Okay. So, I think the other thing, is just kind of like being able to be more of myself. Like, I feel like, I have hidden certain parts of me that I was embarrassed of, but I shouldn't be embarrassed because God made me in his image and likeness. So I feel like that's another thing that I want to bring into my next relationship, because if someone's going to be with me, they're going to love me for me.
That's so true.
So
that's huge. And it's even just knowing, as a fellow, quirky, off the wall girl myself. Yes. And I actually had to room in a cabin with Bria for our past summer camp. So I can fully attest now. She's like, hell. And she can attest for me too. We are both a little off the wall people.
A little? I think it's more than a little.
It can, yeah. We can like do the dial. We can read the room.
Yeah. Well, I'm still learning. I feel like you've learned that more than I have. Like, I'm still learning. You should see me at school. Oh my gosh. True.
I've never seen her at school, so I can.
Okay.
Never. Let me keep it as it is. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it as it is. But if that person is really someone that we're gonna spend forever with, you really should be able to just be yourself.
Yeah.
And not even the just kind of happy and they really like me a lot, but full being ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Like, if I can't break out into, like, random dance parties and you just not, like, this is who she is and, like, I'm okay with it, like, leave. Because I just have, like, random outbursts. Or, like, because I sing, like, I think of words and a song will come to me like that. And so that I was thinking of songs while you were talking in my head, literally. And so if I just, like, start singing, you know, like, that just you have to be okay with that.
Gotta be okay with it. And maybe, you know, you start singing too.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we can just have a whole concert.
Yes.
Like, and then, like, oh my, I see it now. Okay,
you see it now. You see it now. I know, she's ready. Let me cool her off.
I'm waiting.
Yes, just be with someone. And that's the same for friends too.
Yes.
You know, so the same way in which that person's supposed to be your friend, you know. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be your friend too. And we probably wouldn't pick a friend that doesn't let us be ourselves. But just want to go back to not awakening love until it's time, and us guarding our hearts above all else, because from it flows what? What did it say? It determines.
No, determines the course
of your life. We got to remember those things. Love is so, so important. So, y'all, we have made it to the end of episode 6. Crazy sauce. I'm so proud of Bria. And any last words, Bria?
You know, just if you're in a waiting season, know that you're supposed to be there for a reason. If you're in a relationship, know that God needs to be at the center, and you're loved and you're valued. I feel like we don't hear that a lot, so I'm going to say that again. You're loved and you're valued. You're deserving of love. So, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. Let them know. ITL Fam, we've made it to the end. You guys can follow us at Instagram at itl.ignitethelight. Stay connected. Obviously, share this with, you know, do the subtle share. Be like, hey, I heard this. You know, if you got to push it to that friend who, you know, trying to send that message to, you know, we'll keep it, we'll wrap them in by the end. You know what I'm saying? But we love you guys. We're so blessed that you have joined us. And peace out. Catch us next week.
Bye.